Rubber.
Look at these two paper bags. They don't appear very different, but they sound different. One of these is a real everyday paper bag,
And one of these
and the other one
is a clone.
a silent prop.
Made out of leather.
This fake paper bag was an innovation thought up by prop maker Tim Schultz.
Props is always about solving a problem.
And one of those problems is everyday objects that don't look distracting, but sound
Thanks to the
distracting.
bits.
I often say
Gas
that
bar.
a sound guy can hear grass growing when you're on location.
B-scan
Silencing
and
some
Cobain.
props, like drums, can be fairly simple, like adding a drum mute. But others require getting a bit more creative. Like with pool balls, which were too loud for these two bar scenes in season 1 of Friday Night Lights.
Ooh, nice shot.
Property master Scott Reeder needed to find a ball
that didn't
would
sound
create
very
a softer
loud.
sound on impact.
Like pool isn't
First,
that
he
loud.
experimented with plastic balls from a ball pit. They were much quieter, but he
Thanks to the
couldn't
huge
get
tier
paint
3
to
tough
stick
nuts.
to the surface.
Thank you, tough nuts.
Then he remembered a trick he used on
appreciate that.
1991's Necessary Roughness during a shot where a character is thrown onto a pool table in a bar fight. Reeder swapped real pool balls with racket balls so the actor would land on something softer.
We didn't really clue in at the time that, oh, you know, these would be good for sound.
Brings Resub
Listen to
McChicken
how
and
real
Fire
pool balls
Rage.
sound
That's still pretty quiet.
compared to the racket balls.
Ew.
Better.
To get it to look like the real thing, Reeder added
Where's
a
Prime
layer of
Cloudy?
primer to make sure the paint stuck, followed with a glossy spray to give off the signature shine
Here's
of a
some
real pool
snowflake.
ball.
You got to pick them up to tell that they're not real.
And Reeder also had to know when to swap the props in.
If actors are playing in a scene, we'll typically do real if the camera is going to see them hit the ball. And then when the camera goes to where it's just on their face, we'll throw the fake ones on the table so they can actually play pool. That way the sound man can catch the dialogue.
Prop masters don't always need to find a replacement.
Thanks Resub Straw
Some
Money.
silent props are made by just modifying
smart.
the real thing. For example, in this scene in Tammy, actress Melissa McCarthy needed to wear a paper bag on her head to hide her identity and another one on her hand to hide a gun. Schultz said it was important for her to use the real thing. But a real paper bag would sound something like this.
Just get pie. You want some pies?
Oh, I pie.
Well, get a pile for you. Get a pile for.
Quieting these real bags down meant adding
Discount
more weight to them.
serial killer.
So Schultz sprayed the bags with a mix of
Yeah, it's
water
like a
and
weird
glycerin,
DC
which is
villain.
typically used to add the appearance of sweat or water droplets on anything from human skin to beer bottles.
Takes quite a bit of time. Well, it takes time and finesse because you don't want to overdo it.
He also taped the bags inside to hold them together and prevent them from crumbling. But this fix was only temporary, since
Thanks
the
to
bags would
Resub,
eventually
Yala,
lose their color and
and
fall
chickens.
apart over time. And this wouldn't work for when actors have to handle bags
I did not know that,
consistently.
Orbit.
So for other projects, Schultz developed a quiet, durable alternative using fibrous, non-woven fabric. This is actually the same material as coffee filters. To make it look like the real thing, Schultz wraps the fabric around a mold. Then he glues and folds the sides by hand.
We're trying to copy the bottom of a standard bag. That
God, there's so much that goes into
would
this
be made
shit
by a machine.
that no one
Important to get
appreciates.
the corners so that they're square.
Rough.
A lot of times when we're using them, we'll crinkle them and make them look more used so they have a more
Prime
realistic look.
Hoodspith.
Instead of cutting it smooth, it's going to cut it with a little jagged edge to it.
This fabric can be used on other paper products as well, like when this butcher in the Kaminsky method talks to Alan Arkin while grabbing a handful
What
of cold
obscure
cuts.
examples?
That butcher paper? Fake.
Just like Bill
It's these small handheld props that
Herdbliger
give prop
from
masters the
this
most trouble,
student
especially
project.
in scenes with dialogue. For example, an actor with a drink will likely hold it near their midsection, where microphones are often attached. It's especially important to make sure whatever is in that drink doesn't produce any unwanted sounds. So if you're watching a show like Entourage,
hey, I know
with
that one.
lots of
There's
scenes at
one.
parties and bars, it's safe to assume that these ice cubes are all fake.
Oh my god,
Not
I've been
all
lied
fake
to.
ice is the same. Plastic cubes don't melt, which is great for continuity, but they're still really loud. So when sound is crucial, Schultz often opts for another type of fake cubes.
Thanks to Tier
These
1
ones made out of
Half
silicone.
Force and the Resub Stormy.
These rubber cubes can either be molded in trays or ripped apart. Since the final product floats in a glass, they look more convincing.
God, such a
And best of all,
tiny
they're
detail
completely
no one
silent.
notices.
Background actors can move this stuff around without having to worry about the sound.
So when this waitress walks by with a tray full of cups with ice, you can hear,
What time's dinner? We're starving.
and not.
What time's dinner? We're starving.
While ice cubes only pop up in certain moments, other loud materials are everywhere, like plastic. Everything from sandwich bags to potato chip bags make loud crackles, so Schultz will create fake ones out of vinyl.
So this material, it's a dull sound.
I mean, it's still kind of loud, though.
And it comes in handy for other places you might not expect, like flower bouquets that are wrapped in cellophane. Take this moment from the
Yeah, I'll play
Grimspin
the
method,
GTA
where Michael
Remastered
Douglas's
trilogy.
character brings flowers to an ailing friend. If Schultz had used real cellophane for the bouquet, all the sound team would hear is,
What kind of flowers are those? I have no idea.
so he used a transparent vinyl material to replicate the look without all the noise.
What kind of flowers are those? I have no idea. So your daughter bought them? Yeah.
But no solution is one size fits all.
Noisy tissue, but a quiet bag. Still doesn't solve the problem.
Some objects need multiple layers of silent material to effectively kill any noise, like with these gift bags.
So, quiet tissue, quiet bag, done.
Nice. Problem
so next time you
solved.
see a scene set in a grocery store, a bar, or even just around the office,
These are 3 gift
look
subs,
twice at
Grievous.
the everyday objects you can see
Appreciate it, man.
but can't hear.
So was this guy like the main pioneer for this then?
We can all thank the prop makers for that.
He's a prime big man. That's interesting. Something I would have never really thought about. Have you heard of meditation drum?